Marvin Hagler, he lived up to our trust. Every time he got in that darn ring, we knew what he was going to give us. Everything. Way too often, we use the term great. Sometimes that word is thrown around almost to the point where it loses some of its strength, some of its credibility. It should not be lost with Hagler. Great belonged with Hagler. He went and sought out, I'll say it again, he sought out all the best middleweights in the country, and he fought them all in their hometown. To the point where he lost 2 fights. One was to Boogaloo Watts, and the other was to Willie the Worm Monroe. Now the one with Willie the Worm Monroe, real slick guy, he lost that fight. And he, being the honest guy he is, he said, I still got a lot to learn. And he sure as heck, he went and learned it. He came back, and of course he learned, and he beat Willie the Worm twice. He stopped him once. Sometimes you got to go into the fire to really forge that sword. You want a sword of steel that will stand up, that will not break in combat, no matter how difficult that combat is? Well, you have to forge it in fire. Hagler forged himself in fire, and he was the man of steel. He really was. I mean, he was Superman. Punches bounced off Marvin Hagler the way bullets bounced off Superman. I mean, that was Marvin Hagler. I mean, the chin on that guy, the determination, the will, the character. He showed the attributes I talk about when I talk about true strength, true talent, true traits, true abilities are more than just the neon ones. If you want a friend in life, what do you want? You want someone who's dependable, trustworthy, somebody who's reliable, somebody who you can count on, somebody, if they're your friend, you call them at 1 o'clock in the morning, they don't hang up on you. They don't remind you what time it is. You know what they say? Okay, I'll be there in 10 minutes. That's what you want. You got it with Marvin Hagler, okay? That's what you got, Ken. That was his power. That was his strength, along with all his physical attributes and everything else, and the way he could fight and being a southpaw. And he could fight inside, outside. He could counterpunch. He could box. He'd go get you. He'd weigh you down. He'd break your ribs. All of that stuff. All of it. But he was dependable. He was loyal. Loyalty is a power. It's a strength. If you could be loyal in your life to people when it's difficult to be loyal, you're a strong person. You have strength. You have character. It will show itself. And it showed itself with Hagler. It was always there. It was always there. The guy would never, ever submit. If he didn't submit to those things, he wasn't submitting to anything in the ring either. He's not only the greatest middleweight or one of the greatest middleweights of all time, he's one of the greatest southpaws of all time. So you get both with Hagler. And like I said, he fought everybody, anywhere, anytime. Everybody. And he was no frills. He didn't come up with a silver spoon. Damn it, he didn't even have a freaking spoon. You know? He didn't get a Olympic gold medal. He didn't have all that, which is great. He didn't have the money from the promoters, the big money and the hoopla. No, he didn't have. He just had Marvin Hagler. That's what he had. It was enough. It was enough. He earned every freaking thing he got. Every freaking thing he got. And boy, oh boy, he really built himself into some kind of man, some kind of fighter. He really was a throwback. And he was the guy that his whole life followed in that kind of thing. Like, he's a guy that wasn't spoiled. He's a guy that, had to do it the hard way. Well, sure enough, when he wins the title finally, I think it was in his 56th fight, when he wins the title finally, he has to go to England, and he fights Alan Minter, a damn good fighter, good boxer, with all, hostile, obviously, fans against him. And he destroys Minter. He cuts him up. He takes him apart in 3 rounds. And again, consistent with what I'm describing, that nothing easy went to Marvin Hagler. He's got to now deal with a rainstorm of bottles. And they're throwing freaking bottles at him. He wins the world title, the greatest moment of his life after going through everything, fighting all the top guys in Philly, going to everyone's hometown, dealing with everything, getting robbed, coming back, winning, and now he's got to have bottles thrown at him. They actually had to cover him up to get him out of there. And they ran out of there. They got out of there. But again, when you think about Marvin Hagler, that was it. Everything he did, he did it. He didn't do it the easy way. He didn't do it the easy way. This was a big loss for us. He left us way too early. Marvin Hagler, he was special.